extra lockdown restrictions, a race back to the UK, and a stall in coronavirus deaths. This is your TLDR News Daily Briefing for Friday, August 21st. The first item in today's daily briefing is related to some more local UK lockdowns. Oldham, Pendle and Blackburn today face harsher lockdown restrictions, mainly that residents from these areas are no longer allowed to socialise with anyone outside their household. This includes indoors, outdoors and in restaurants and pubs. Workplaces and businesses will, however, remain open. This includes any childcare facilities. Using public transport should only be for essential purposes, and funerals and weddings should be limited to a maximum of 20 people. This has been introduced because there are between 70 and 90 cases per 100,000, which Nick Triggle from the BBC points out is only about half the rate of cases that Leicester experienced when they were first put under local lockdown. Exactly when these local lockdowns will be relaxed is as yet unknown. In other news today, there has been, yet again, another group of countries added to the UK's red list. Anyone travelling back from Croatia, Austria and Trinidad and Tobago after 4 AM BST on Saturday will need to self-isolate for 2 weeks. Last week, the government introduced the same policy for France, which led to a huge race of tourists trying to get back to the country before 4 AM. This was so that they could avoid having to isolate. It also led to the Eurostar being fully booked and more ferries being put on to try and accommodate the increased demand for cross-channel trips. It's as yet unknown whether the same will be repeated in the early hours of tomorrow morning. While this news isn't exactly positive, there is a ray of sunshine. Although these 3 countries have been added to the list, Portugal has been removed from it, meaning that anyone who's currently having a holiday in Portugal will not be required to self-isolate upon returning to the UK. This will inevitably come as welcome news to any UK holiday makers in Portugal currently. In other UK news today, it's been shown that despite cases being on a slight increase over the last few weeks, deaths have not increased alongside them. Research from the University of Leeds and University of Oxford has shown that if there had been a correlation between the number of cases and deaths, then Britain would currently be experiencing a daily death toll of around 35 per day. This contrasts with only being around 5 deaths per day currently, a figure which is still slowly decreasing. And it's important to note that these figures account for the time lag between infections and deaths. Although a possible explanation for this could simply be that we're conducting more tests, another could be due to the treatments which are now available to those who have tested positive for the coronavirus. While any death is a sad event, which leaves a lasting mark on a large number of people who are close to the person, the fact that the number of deaths is currently so low and appears to be dropping can only be seen as good news. Let's hope that this decrease in deaths continues, and that better, more effective treatments are found, allowing us to finally bring this number down to 0. If you want more news, then check out our latest videos on YouTube. We released one today that takes a look at the Beirut explosion, which took place just over 2 weeks ago, explaining what we know now and how the countries responded to the blast. For those of you who think the news is too long, be sure to check out tomorrow's daily briefing. Read the newsletter by signing up at tldrnews.co.uk/daily. Listen to the briefing by searching for TLDR News in your podcast app, or watch the briefing over at youtube.com/TLDR daily. The Daily Briefing is a TLDR News podcast brought to you by 326 Limited. It was written by Ben Blissett and recorded and edited by Jack Kelly, and the executive producer of The Daily Briefing is Jack Kelly. Learn more about TLDR News at tldrnews.co.uk or by searching for TLDR on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram or Facebook.